Good morning, David.
Good morning, Salim.
Welcome to Sultan Qaboos University.
Thank you, it's great to be here.
David, let us just discuss something which a lot of people do not consider when they talk about risks. And that is, do we really need different or separate process to identify and manage opportunities?
Yes, it is important. We talked in an earlier question about whether all risk is bad. And we agreed together that not all risk is bad, that we have some bad risks which could hurt us if they happened. We also have some good risks that could help us if they happened. And in fact, in the ISO 31000 standard, which defines risk as the effect of uncertainty on objectives, there is a footnote. It says effect is variation from what's expected, positive or negative. And so we have this idea that there are good risks and bad risks. We might call them upside and downside risks, because the effect could be an upside effect, could be helpful in terms of saving time, saving money, improving performance, or it could be a downside effect in terms of wasting time, wasting money, and damaging performance. So it's important that we see both of these types of risk exist. Now, if they both exist, then they both need to be managed. And the question is, do we need different processes for this? And we should say that upside risks, we have a word for upside risk, you used it in the question, it's the word opportunity. And we have a word for downside risks, we call them threats. So the idea is that risk is a double-sided concept. We have a bad side called threats and a good side called opportunities, but both threats and opportunities are risks. What that means is that when we do risk management, we're managing the risks, we're managing threats, and we're managing opportunities. Because the truth is that it might sound strange, threats and opportunities are the same. The only difference is the sign of the impact. So both threats and opportunities are the effect of uncertainty on objectives, but threats are the negative effect of uncertainty on objectives, and opportunities are the positive effect of uncertainty on objectives.
So the effect is different.
The sign, the nature of the effect, positive or negative. But in terms of affecting the timeline or the budget or the reputation or safety, it affects us in the same areas.
But still the process will be the same or different?
So we have in the risk management process a way of identifying the uncertainties that could affect our objectives, and then of prioritizing those, and then of deciding what to do, and then of implementing and reviewing. The question is, do we need to do that differently for opportunities? And I would say no. I think the ideal is to have an integrated process where we deal with all of the risks that affect our objectives, whether they are bad ones or good ones. And the best way is to do that together. You know, a lot of the problem with risk management is that people see it as an extra effort. And if you say, we're going to have a process that deals with bad things, and I want you to come to a meeting where we identify them and then spend time prioritizing and develop, and then I want you to come to another meeting where we identify the positive things and we prioritize them and develop responses, people won't engage with that. We need to keep it simple, to keep it efficient, and the most efficient way to deal with it as a risk management approach is to manage all the risks together. Because they are the same, they are both the uncertainties that affect the objectives, then what we have to do, what we can do, is to manage those in an integrated way.
So let us take one process, for example, identifying a risk.
Yes.
If we use steps 1, 2, 3 to identify risk, are these the same steps we need to use when we identify opportunities?
Yes, they are. There's a different mindset, a different way of thinking, because traditionally when we come to identify risks, we think negatively. We think of bad things. We say, how bad could it be? How many things could go wrong? What are we not looking forward to that might happen? And of course, with opportunities, we need to have a positive mindset. And we say, how could things be better? What could go well? And what is not expected, which could really help us? And that's more of a positive, constructive way of thinking. So we need to change our thinking mode, but the steps are the same.
To what extent do you think people, they think about both sides of the coin? Most of us really, as you said, we really think about the downside of it.
Well, in life, we think about both. If you made a financial investment and all you ever thought about was how bad it was going to be and how much money you would lose, you know, of course we don't do that. We think about our profits and about our gains. If you start a new relationship with a friend, you don't start thinking about how much they're going to hurt you and disappoint you and how much you look for the positives and the benefits, and of course we think about both. Why don't we do that professionally in our projects and in our businesses and our organisations? Of course we should. And it does seem that because we have this concept of the word risk being bad, that when we hear about risk management, we switch into a negative only thinking mode, and we need to broaden our thinking. And we'll talk later on in this series of questions about culture and about mindset
and attitude,
and attitudes and values. And all of these things, I think we need to be less restricted when we come to risk management in business or in projects and in organisations, and to think more like we do in life. Yes, there are bad things and we need to protect ourselves, but yes, there are good things and we need to chase them and capture them. And the same is true in risk management.
Excellent. That's clear. Thank you, David.
Thank you.